Hey everyone, welcome back to another one of our HiFlyer digital webinars where this time we're talking all about our $100 million Black Friday email and SMS game plan for your brand. This is the full smash. This is the end of the year. This is the culmination of everything you've been doing all year long, all in one webinar, right? We're talking all about Black Friday weekend, your 5-day game plan. I'm your host, Isaac Hyman, and I'm going to share with you the exact game plan that the top brands use that I myself have implemented as a VP of retention at the 9 and 10 figure brands out there. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you the game plan they're using, what templates they use, some of the hacks they use, and how to have a really solid rollout for your brand, whether you're a retailer or DTC brand, no matter how big you are, how small you are. This is going to be the game plan that you should be using for your brand to excel, double your clicks, double your sales, double your conversions, and end the year really strong. Let's get started. So let me scale this up. You can see the slides. Make sure we are set here. Okay. All right. Let's get moving here. So let's talk about what you will learn, right? By the end of this webinar, you'll be able to take away the complete 5-day Black Friday Cyber Monday game plan that generated $100 million in just 5 days. I myself have done this, and you're going to know what the top brands do before they do it. You're going to be able to create the perfect email template that doubles your clicks and your conversions, and you'll be able to capture every opportunity from your email and SMS list, from your campaigns to your flows to your pop-ups, you name it, and turn email and SMS into your most profitable channel and make this the best holiday season you've ever had. Right? It's been a challenging year for a lot of brands. And now is the time to end the year strong. And you'd be surprised. We have about 225 brands, marketers, vendors all signed up for this webinar because it's really the culmination of a really challenging year, and they want to end it strong. So this is going to be very helpful for you. Now, obviously, you should definitely have watched my Q4 webinar as well to help you win the quarter. But at the very least, this webinar will give you the tips you need to win the 5-day weekend. So who is this War Room webinar for? Really, this playbook 5-day game plan for? It's for 7 to 8 figure retailers who really are sick of winging Black Friday every single year. It's for 9 to 10 figure retailers who need a strategy for their team. One of our top niches that we target are retailers, resellers, and house of brand retailers who really need that extra push. And we help them with their strategy overall. And it's also for 7 to 8 figure DTC brands who really don't want to fall behind. Right? If you're a DTC brand that has 100 SKUs, 1,000 SKUs, 100,000 SKUs, this allows you to keep pace with some of the biggest players in the industry because I've been there. I've learned from them. I've taught with them. I've lectured on them, and we're going to help you level up as well. So for founders and CEOs who desperately need to win a slow 2025, and it's for CMOs who want to actually find a true Black Friday Cyber Monday growth partner as well. That's the key behind it, right? This is the game plan that the top brands are using, and you want to just not have someone just send emails and text messages, and that's good. Done for you makes sense, but it's also giving you the insights and tactics that you need, and the strategies you need to think bigger than just sending stuff, right? That's kind of what your goal is. Let's go through some case studies to start this webinar just to see the vision behind it, right? To get you excited and say, wow, there's a lot of opportunity that I maybe have left on the table, and what is the potential on my list? And this brand right here, 7-figure luxury retailer, went from $78,000 in Q4 last year to 2 years ago to $191,000 last year in Q4, 144% revenue growth. This electronics brand went from 140 to 261 through Q4, grew by 86%. These strategies work, right? And it helped fuel their 2025. I'm excited for them to fuel another 2026 as well. This 7-figure home decor retailer went from $323,000 to $588,000 through Q4, a gain of another couple $100,000 right there, right? Imagine what that does to your bottom line. That's going to be an amazing win to start the year. This 7-figure beauty brand, small Amazon brand, wanted to build out their D2C operation, grew by 209% on Black Friday last year. Small on that end, but from the Amazon side, they were exploding anyway. So 209% revenue growth over the 5-day weekend. This 7-figure apparel retailer had a 37% growth Q4 to Q4 year over year. These are Shopify numbers right here. Huge results. An 8-figure health retailer, looking at Google Analytics, grew by 120% growth on Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend year over year. All right. And they're an 8-figure brand. These are brands that they thought they were at a mature place. And actually, we found that they were nowhere near where they needed to be. And we uncovered it for them. And then this 10-figure electronics brand, this retailer that I always kind of reference right here, they went from $10 million in Q4 to $29 million the very next year with the strategy, not only the strategy on Black Friday or Q4, but also the strategy we rolled out throughout the entire year. So we built the foundation first, and then we actually tested it. We added in what needed to be done to close any gaps, and they ended Q4 at a super strong level. Now, if you're not at that level or you haven't really built the foundation, at the very least, you could win the 5-day weekend as well. And this 8-figure brand doubled sales every single year with this strategy, right? Year one, they grew by 56%. Year two, they grew by 54%, right? Scaling up further. So it doubles your sales every single year. It keeps you growing and growing and growing if you're rolling out the right strategy. This 9-figure retailer went from $47 million to $73 million in just 8 months while sending 12% fewer emails, right? I'm going to talk about how to cut your costs and why this strategy works on not just making money, but cutting your costs, thereby equaling profits, right? And lowering your footprint in the inbox and ensuring that you're connected with people in the right way. So a little bit about me. As you may already seen from tons of our webinars, and obviously the 225 brands or so that have signed up for this webinar, I'm an XVP of retention at the 9-10-figure brands, speaker, author, panelist, and agency founder. I've managed multi-million member email lists, customer files, wrote the book on it, 330-page book, worked with 110 plus e-commerce brands and retailers. And I think the key part is that I've actually been on your side of the table, right? I have the experience. I know exactly what to do. Doesn't matter if you're in Klaviyo, Omnisend, Listtrack, Sailthrough, Responses. I've worked with all of them. And it comes down to having the strategy. All the tactics and the tools you're using, those are replaceable, right? But what really matters is the strategy you're rolling out for your brand, because everything else just layers on top of it, right? You can't find a new technology or add a new tactic unless you have the strategy part. Our award-winning agency is trusted by over 110 plus retailers and brands, from 7-figure to 10-figure brands you know and love. There's more to add to this sheet right here. We're really doing some amazing stuff for some of the biggest brands in the world and some of the smallest brands too that really are growing and scaling and want to learn what the top brands are doing. We're bringing the strategies to them as well. Here's where I get a little bit more personal, right? And what you can expect to see from my, horror stories, right? My ESP, as I mentioned every year, my ESP, my email platform, email service provider, crashed on Thanksgiving Eve. It was Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And I still generated $20 million over that weekend. And a little bit of backstory, right? Usually I relied on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just like your brand usually does, and 5-day weekend to make all our money. But Prime Day hit, we lost sales to Amazon. Customers started buying earlier in the season, which I'll talk about in a second. COVID had people worried about inventory levels, right? So they wanted to buy earlier so they don't avoid any inventory misses. And then again, my ESP broke. Right? There was a glitch, something wrong with it. And it wasn't just me. It was probably about 100 to 200 retailers on the platform. Not going to say which one, but the platform just went down and all those retailers suffered. Right? All those brands suffered that were on it. Maybe even 1,000 brands or so. I'm not even sure. But the ESP broke. And what I realized was over time, the 5-day weekend is great, but you got to focus on Q4 overall, right? Pull the sales in earlier. Don't just rely on a 5-day weekend. So I have a whole webinar all about Q4, which I'll recap pieces of it on this one. But the goal is that a 5-day weekend is great, but you want to win the quarter. And of course, it also shows that the strategy I'm about to share with you is that it works for brands, even if you're just starting out, and even if you don't know where to start, or you're puzzled, or you're winging it right now, or you don't have a plan, or your agency's been tanking your sales the entire year, and you're hoping that this will work, and you don't have the guidance and strategy and insights you need to really win the holiday season. I had to start from scratch the day before. So I get it. I know exactly what you're going through, right? That was a horror story. Up like 24 hours, up for like 36 hours in a row. And we still made $20 million because we built the foundation before. So I was able to grow $3 million to $10 million in Q4 year over year with this strategy with another brand. And the whole point of this is to say that the foundation first. If you're still in Q4, right? We're doing this webinar early, not like a week before Black Friday, which would make no sense. We're doing it in October. So you have the guidance and conditions to really excel on the 5-day weekend. So I've been there, I've had challenges, and I've actually been able to still grow revenues by $20 million. You may already know that I have a 10-figure email strategy distilled into one 330-page playbook. I have it around here somewhere. I have a whole new edition that's really going to help you win email, SMS, Black Friday, AI, retention. All these things are distilled into one 330-page playbook, and it's going to be a really good resource for you throughout the year. And I think the main thing is, again, I always mention this, and I just kind of recap. Our mission is to help you stop mindlessly sending emails and texts. There are hundreds and hundreds of people always telling you to send more, send more, send more. And what that leads to is customers tuning you out, Klaviyo and OmniSend getting rich off your sending and volume, and not really driving the needle, right? Not really moving the needle and driving up sales necessarily, right? You're kind of killing your list. And I've been there. I've actually burned my list by sending way too much. And the magic I found is that you have to focus on building relationships with your list, right? You got to be able to send messages that are personalized and segmented and automated at the right times, and then scaling that up. So the mission is to stop sending emails and text, start building relationships with your list, right? With a better strategy. And this year, I always reference this. If you're on Klaviyo joined our mission and movement. They saw the writing on the wall. They know exactly. I have a 10-year head start on this mission because, again, I was at the 9-10-figure brands that were doing this. I have a 10-year head start on this. And building better customer relationships is exactly where brands were in 2015. And now it's where Klaviyo says this is where brands, smaller brands, need to be now. So building better customer relationships is the key behind it. Now, you may ask, well, how do we do that? It comes down to 4 key pillars: segmentation, personalization, automation, and multiplication. That's the magic behind a 10-figure billion-dollar email strategy. I'll have more details about that in the book. I just want to kind of give a foundation about that. 4 key pillars: segmentation, personalization, automation, multiplication. And if you want to dive into the root of it, it's right person, right message, right time, repeat. Right person, right message, right time, repeat. Find the right person, send them the right message at the right time in their buying cycle, and repeat that strategy for different products, cohorts, or channels, right? SMS, ads, you name it. You have an email list that can fuel all your channels overall. But if I wanted to zero in on what is the main advantage of each pillar of this strategy, segmentation will help you save money. Personalization helps you make money, right? More clicks, more conversions. Automation saves you loads of time. And then multiplication helps scale your brand to the next level. That's why all 4 pillars are critical. You can't just do segmentation and call it a day. You got to have personalization. And you can't just do segmentation and personalization all day. You got to automate. Otherwise, you're stuck in the weeds. And if you want to scale your brand, you got to have the multiplication phase. Read more about it in my book. I have a whole masterclass on it as well. All possible content you can use to learn about this. And I think it will blow your minds, right? So if you want to save money, make money, save time, and scale, this is for you, right? This is the video for you. So let's get now into a little bit about Q4 as a whole, right? Before we get to the 5-day game plan. So this will help, color in the lines around the 5-day weekend. So here's some of the 2025 Q4 trends and stats that you definitely should know and what will impact your brand right now. The holiday season moves up every year, and Q4 actually matters a lot more than Black Friday, right? So depending on the type of brand you are, depending if you sell, goods for elderly or products for kids, you gotta know when they're buying, right? So a great graph from Salsify, I always reference this. A lot of Gen Zers will shop in November, right? And they'll shop during Cyber Week. But if you're targeting Gen X or baby boomers, they're tending to shop in October. The holiday season for them is right now, right? And they're not relying on Cyber Week anymore. Then they'll shop again in December, right? So knowing your demographic or who your customer base is, you got to market to them at the right time in the right window. And that's why Amazon pulls up their Prime Day and Wayfair pulls up Way Day and Sephora pulls up Sephora Day, whatever they want to call it. Walmart, they pull up their holiday sales earlier to October. Have you noticed that? Because they're reacting to the data, right? Meanwhile, your brand is getting advised by every other rookie agency or rookie freelancer or just some YouTube video saying, wait for 5-day weekend, Black Friday. That is the cherry on top of a great quarter. That should be your mentality. Cherry on top of an excellent quarter. It's no longer just rely on the 5-day weekend, right? So looking at this graph, know your customer demographics so you can adapt to the season. Like I said, major retailers start holidays in early October, right? Prime Day, Walmart deals, Circle Week. And this is pushing customers to buy earlier and not wait until Black Friday. So you really got to focus on Q4. That's the magic behind it. A couple more stats to know that are relevant. 85% are adopting cost-saving behaviors, right? They're kind of, trimming the wallet. They want to make sure that they, have enough to spend, and they need to buy gifts for themselves and from others. And 55% of shoppers are buying before Black Friday. Again, there's a lot of awareness about the power of Prime Day, the power of October and early November. They're not waiting for the end of the week, end of the month in November, right? So that's a major shift. Buy now, pay later increased to 10% of all orders, right? Buy now, customers like to buy now and pay later. I haven't gotten into that myself. If I have cash, I buy it. If I don't have cash, I don't buy it. That's me. But buy now, pay later has increased. You need to be able to have options for that or a hedge against that. Memberships drive first pass first sales. If you have a membership program like an Amazon Prime or Walmart Plus, those are where customers look for first, right? So if you have a membership program, they'll go to you first and say, oh, well, I have a membership there. Or if you have points, another great example, you have rewards or points, they'll say, oh, I have points I could probably use during the holiday season. I should probably use them there. Let me check there first. 54% of brands plan to use AI to help with holiday shopping, chatbots, machine learning, dynamic products, right? Things like that are essential for e-commerce. I'm not saying go create a whole large LLM model for your business yet. You don't necessarily have time for that, right? We're making a 2026 project, but definitely make sure that your chatbots are working, conditional logic, you have dynamic products, wisdom of the crowd or algorithms, right, running. That's going to be very helpful for you overall. And Thanksgiving closures mean more online shoppers. More brands are closing during Thanksgiving, and there's a lot more going online. Super critical for retailers who are sometimes relying, and maybe they are still relying on a Friday rush to their store or a Saturday rush to their store. Pull the holiday season online first because they shop there first, and then Friday is Friday. If they come in, they come in, but you hedged against it. So my goals for you on this webinar is to beat your competitors on Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. I'm going to give you a $100 million Black Friday plan I myself have rolled out. It's worked for retailers, house of brand retailers, resellers, and D2C brands. You beat your competition on clicks and conversions, capture every possible sale opportunity, right? But from the flows to the start of the day to the end of the day. Drive holiday sales earlier, right? Not just rely on, hey, let's just send an email on the 5-day weekend. Like I mentioned, pull it to Q4 overall. Build LTV well into 2026. Again, that's more from my Q4 webinar, how we're talking about, those Black Friday customers are usually one and done, right? They're deal hunters. They may be gone for the whole year. I'm going to show you how to build that, get them to be repeat buyers and build that LTV and become more profitable this year. That's it. Become more profitable this year. You want to make some money, right? Here's how you can be more profitable. It starts with beating them to the inbox. So let's do a quick recap on the Q4 email and SMS strategy I talked about, right? A quick recap on that, because again, this plays a role into your Black Friday plan. So you can get it all at blackfridayplaybook.com. It's my own domain. blackfridayplaybook.com has all our content, all our videos, all our information. A couple of videos need to still be updated. So if you're missing something that's out of date or you're missing that campaign calendar, you can actually find that in our Facebook group, Retention Nation. We have a whole group dedicated to that. But blackfridayplaybook.com has a lot of resources you can go to. We also have some QR codes you can scan as well. And it'll have everything you need to win Q4 and Black Friday. So my $100 million Q4 strategy, and this is what I use with brands now that they're generating hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in Q4 alone. It comes down to 3 core pillars, just 3. You don't have to think about, we're not talking about tactics, right? Tactics are like, write your copy or send a plain text email versus a designed email, or don't do a long, cascading, beautiful, gorgeous email versus a smaller email. That's a tactic. Let's put tactics aside right now, because the top brands think strategy first, tactics second. That's it, right? So from a strategy point of view, right? Think of high-level strategy. There are 3 pillars to focus on, and they go by quarter: October, I'm sorry, they go by month and not quarter. October, November, December. In October, your whole goal should be reactivate. Activate your list. Get them to engage. Get them to click. Get them to open. Get them to raise their hand and self-qualify that they want to hear from you. Showing gift guides and content emails to get them an awareness of what are they looking to buy, right? Are you gifting yourself? Are you gifting someone else? Are you gifting your spouse? What's your budget? Are you gifting your kids, right? You have gifts under 5, gifts under 10, gifts under 100, gifts under 1,000. So many ways to activate your list and learn about them. And when you do that, you will be prepared for pillar number 2, which is revenue. The branding time is over. The content time is over. You're not going to focus on your little, blogs necessarily, right? You're focusing on revenue, drive sales, because the wallet is open. People want to spend money. They've been saving for that time, and now you want to capture it, because if they're buying gifts from somewhere, I want them to buy gifts from you, right? So branding time is over. Time for revenues and profits, and that's November. Focusing on revenue, drive revenue up, get the profits, try and maximize as much potential as you can, get as much share of wallet as you possibly can. And then finally, December is repeat, right? We want to focus on getting repeat purchases from your holiday buyers, right? Because we reactivate our list, we're getting revenue from those customers during November, and in December, we focus on repeat buyers. How do we get them to buy one more time? Because the lifetime value of a customer who buys twice increases by about 600%. They become stickier with your brand. And you got to get them while their wallet is open. And it's very simple, because if they buy one product, they can accessorize that product. And most of the time, stats show that they're buying something for themselves and for someone else. So inherently, they have 2 purchases ready to spend right then and there. You just have to capture them, right? That's what we'd excel in, right? So reactivate, revenue, repeat. That is the Q4 strategy that will help you win the quarter and not just rely on a 5-day weekend. But we're about here in November as of recording this webinar, right? And maybe you're watching this on Black Friday weekend, right? The week of Black Friday. We'll have some replays of it. This is where you are right now, right? You're in the revenue stage, right? Branding time is over, right? Those little soft emails, those little kind of like content-based emails, the time is over, right? It's time to make some money, right? It's good to build up that trust and build up that awareness and feel good about the emails in the inbox. Now it's time to make some money. And hopefully you've been able to activate your list until now. So that's where you are right now. So we want to focus on driving as much revenue as you possibly can. What does that come down to? More clicks, more conversions. Simple. Very, very simple to understand. More clicks equals more conversions. We want to get as many clicks to the site as possible. Email is just a traffic generator at the end of the day. So you got to capitalize on that. So now that we know what stage we're at in Q4, revenue. We want to get that revenue up. Here are 5 keys to achieve a $100 million 5-day weekend. And these are guaranteed to double your clicks and potentially triple your conversions, all depending on your site, all depending on what type of business you are. But if we get your clicks up, you're in a pretty good spot, right? You want to get those clicks up, double those clicks, right? That's kind of the goal of it. So step number 1, right? Remember I told you about that strategy? Strategy first, tactics second. Now that you got the strategy, you're in the revenue stage, you know how to get there, doubling your clicks, which doubles your conversions, which doubles your flows, right? Your tech is your tool, right? Now let's talk in tactics. You need to make sure your tech is stress tested and ready, okay? You've been able to max your Klaviyo tech. You're using it at its full capacity. You've added the right apps in to reinforce where Klaviyo is falling short, right? We have a few clients that just onboarded this week, retention.com. which I'm a big fan of it. Retention.com captures all these anonymous traffic that comes to your site, right? There's a lot of other, apps and vendors doing it as well. They're the old school. They're doing it pretty well. I trust them, right? You don't want to wing it with someone you don't trust. You've added in the right apps to reinforce your gaps. Your site speed is running smoothly, right? Your pop-ups aren't disrupting conversions, right? You want to make sure that they're not actually interrupting the journey. And you remove tech that slows you down. Right? You've already tested and found out which tech is going to be good for your brand and which tech is not going to be good for your brand, right? Now you can absorb all the traffic and actually convert them. Here's the problem. You're paying Klaviyo for Ferrari features, but you're using it like a Toyota, right? Or a Yugo. Remember the Yugo? So you're not using it at its max capacity. You're probably using 10 to 15% of it. leaving the rest of it untapped, unused, and then you're kind of scrambling and saying like, "Well, I'm paying too much for it. Right? It's too much money." You're not using it correctly, right? I have a fancy camera I'm looking at right now, my Sony camera. I'm probably using about 10% of its full capacity, right? It's probably glitchy right now. I have no clue. That's my fault, right? I'm not using it the way it should be used. I've got to get an expert to help teach me. I've got to get someone to help guide me. Same with Shopify. You're probably using 50% of it. You're not using your codes. You're not using dynamic products. You're not using conditional logic. You're not using all the potential of it, and the apps you're not using are affecting you. So really, you got to put a focus on maximizing its potential. That's what you can grab my ESP migration 200-point checklist. It'll show you how to know what your tech gaps are right now, add in apps and tools to fill them, and audit your tech. This is a great checklist to grab. You can leave a comment in this live stream. Happy to send it over to you. We have a team watching right now. Happy to send you over our 200-point checklist and see where your gaps are and actually start using your technology and unlock the $40 for $1 email ROI promise that you're hearing everywhere, right? You're saying email should be unlocking, 30% of your revenue or $40 for every $1 spent. Yeah, but that's if you're actually using your email platform correctly. You're probably making $5 for every $1 ROI. Well, duh, right? So audit your tech. Know that you're maxing it to its full capacity. That's tip number one. Number two, you got to have your best possible list engaged, right? By now, hopefully, you've rolled out my Q4 plan. Your list is much more engaged. Your deliverability is top-notch. You know the 80-20 of your segments that are going to make you the most money that you can hit reliably, knowing that the unsubscribe will be really low, right? And you have a rough projection of your goals. You know exactly what number you need to hit, and then it's just napkin math from there, right? You go backwards. I need to make an extra $1 million over Black Friday weekend. In order to do that, I need to know my AOV. I need to get this many conversions. I need to get this many clicks to the site. I need to get this much traffic from my email program, right? Napkin math. Just work backwards. Very simple. Math is the path. And now you have the right list for your offers, right? You have the right list. You know what to hit. And that's going to be super important, making sure you have the right engaged list. And again, focus on the 80-20 that really matters, right? Majority of your list, not high ROI, right? They're not going to move the needle much. Engage them in October and get them ready for November. Don't rely on Black Friday weekend to start testing, right? Get them into that core segment, the 20% of your list that makes 80% of your revenue. That's really what you want, right? So focus October, even part of November, to get them into that 20%. And for some brands, even as small as 5%. 5% of your list makes you 90% of your revenue. Isn't that amazing? So focus on building that segment up and getting them ready. Hack number 3, stop winging it. Use what works. There's a lot of tips, a lot of guidance, a lot of content, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of ideas out there. Do not wing it. Use what works. Hopefully by now, if you've been watching my content since the beginning of the year, which we have a ton of content on HiFlyerDigital.com, hopefully by now you've tested offers all year round. You know which offers work. You're locked and loaded. You guarantee that this will hit, right? And then you can run it out in ads too, by the way. Just let's not forget that, right? You can run that across all channels if you know your offers have been tested. And for those that want a 10-figure tip, right? Email and SMS is the cheapest way to test. You have 100,000, 1 million subscribers, even 10,000 subscribers is better than paying ads to test offers. You test your offer on your email list first. Roll out the winner on your ads. Simple, right? Not hard to think about. You know your best send times. You know the copy that intrigues. You know the templates that get clicks. You know the links that convert best. And you've perfected segmentation and personalization. Now, since you know it works, roll out the best of the best. Very simple. Don't wing it anymore, right? No more guesswork. Time for proven tactics is now. And you know what templates are working, right? We've tested tons of templates across all our clients. These templates work for some brands. Another template works as well. But different offers. We know what we can go to guarantee to make money right here and there. Now we just got to explode it out the door, right? That's the magic behind it. Hack number 4, the money is in your flow follow-up. So in order to understand that, right, your campaigns are going out. A lot of brand owners, a lot of CMOs and CEOs, even agencies tend to obsess over a campaign. A campaign is half the job. The money's in the flow follow-up, right? So you've ordered your flows, right? You got to audit them, making sure they're audited. You've identified and closed gaps. Your flow templates are at peak performance. You've turned off testing, are running strong. And you also have a 5-day plan to optimize your flows for that 5-day weekend, right? So putting little banners in there that say, by the way, there's a Black Friday deal going on now for cart abandoners, for browser abandoners, things like that. You have every single abandon point covered, and you have a really strong reactive flow game, right? That's the key. You got to have your flows doing the follow-up for you, right? You send an email at 8 a.m., campaign at 8 a.m., your flows, your flows are following up between, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., whatever it may be, right? And now you can then send a follow-up campaign later in the day, right? Knowing that you've touched your customer at least 2 to 3 times during the most critical time of the year. We have a portfolio of probably 100 plus flows that we see. Where's the pockets of opportunity for your brand? And not just turn on the most flows, but focus on the best ones and double down on the best performers. So you really got to look at your whole flow game and say, well, where am I holding? And what do my transactional emails look like, right? We've just started building out another transactional flow for a client. They had so much opportunity in there to double their clicks from transactional emails, man. And then where are they all in one place, or are they running all over the place, right? Is there, Yacht Post sending emails here, and then Smile sending emails here, and then Klaviyo sending your flows here? Like, my God, it's a whole mess. It's a hodgepodge of stuff. Journey's not aligned, right? Your best customers could end up getting 10 emails in a day. Terrible, right? You want to adjust it and organize and harmonize it. And hack number 5 is you're going beyond email silos and being multi-channel. Right? You got to start thinking multi-channel. You've connected email with all your other channels. You've harmonized email and SMS to work together, right? We have a whole strategy just on SMS you can watch on YouTube. Talks all about how 3 strategies for SMS: reward, reinforce, and relationship, right? And the key part is reinforce. Email and SMS are working together. Your offers are aligned with ads and email. Nothing worse than having an email go out and your ads are showing a different offer. That's a mess, right? Customer service is fully in the loop. They need to know what you're doing, or they will get a bunch of calls saying like, what the hell? I got this email here that says I get 20% off, but I'm not being honored here. What's going on? What's this? What's that? Right? Customer service in the loop. And you give email and SMS first pass on all offers because it's the cheapest, most profitable channel, easy to test. You don't have to pay ads, right? So give that first pass. Now you have an omnipresent plan, right? So those are the 5 hacks you need to really focus on to maximize your Black Friday Cyber Monday weekend. Great example right here, right? Typically, you would run a cart ban email, but you have the opportunity to run an email. And we all know, run an SMS too, sure. But why don't you send the data over to Meta and Google, right? And giving email and SMS first pass before you have to pay ads to recover them. Why do that? And why aren't you sending that over to your customer service team with a team that can actually pick up the phone and call them when they have a $5,000 item in the cart? That 10-minute call can make you $5,000, right? How are you harmonizing everything? How are you being omnipresent and really helping the customer across the finish line? These are the type of strategies you need to build out. That's what we call cart abandon 3.0 at our agency, right? We can build this out. A lot of brands aren't really prepared to absorb this level, and they're not really set up. We actually have something coming out where we're going to be developing our customer service side of the business of our agency. It's going to be very helpful for brands like that to recover those carts and maximize the potential. That's just one flow. Imagine 10 flows doing that same omnipresent approach. Lots to unpack there, right? So let's now get into the next stage, which is the perfect Black Friday email template. What does that kind of look like, right? What type of template should we be sending out? What type of messages should we be including? Should it be plain text? Should it be designed, right? Well, let's talk about what are the top brands doing, right? They have a team of 30 and 40. I managed a team of 6, and I had an agency as well to version out stuff for me and develop analytics. And I had a team of designers, 3 designers that were, in a separate department. And we have the time and luxury and resources and bandwidth to test out the templates for you. So I'm just going to give you the best of the best, and you'll see it in your inbox this year. All you need to do is learn it now and start implementing yourself, or hire us to do it for you. So let's take a look at some of the templates from last year that were in my inbox right here. You see right here, there's a whole structure behind it. And the structure here is usually great. Again, it's great for retailers. If you're a one product D2C brand, yeah, this template may not be the perfect fit for you, right? But I want you to start thinking about what goes into the anatomy of a high performing email template. We have Nordstrom on the left. We have Macy's right here. Pretty Little Things, Wayfair, and Guitar Center, some of the top brands in the world, right? They're doing something smart, right? You may hear I heard one guy say, one call to action in your emails, and that's it. What a waste. What a waste of space. What a waste of time. What a waste of personalization, right? If you have one call to action, you're really not, unless you dialed in your segmentation and personalization to a really great level, you're probably missing out on a ton of clicks because no one wants to hear the same thing. What works for me in New York as a dad, as an agency founder, as an entrepreneur, may not work for someone in Texas, right, on a ranch, who's doing a whole bunch of other things, right, who's no kids and single and living in Austin, Texas. Totally different, right? Good comment over there. Someone loves the templates, right? Not mine. I didn't create them, but I know the structure of them, right? And our team creates them really well. So I'm going to go into the anatomy of this structure, but before I do that, you need to understand, let's go back to the beginning of what Black Friday was like, right? Go into the psychology of a Black Friday customer. Remember these days? Maybe you don't remember these days, but I remember those days when we used to camp out at Best Buy. I camped out once until about 4 a.m. waiting online for Best Buy. Did not get what I wanted because look at the jam. That wasn't this picture, but same style, right? Everyone's coming to the Black Friday store. They're coming to your store. They're looking for products. They're looking for items. They have a list. They want to know what they want to get. Total madhouse, right? So when you understand what the beginning of this is, you can understand the psychology of a customer a little bit more, right? So let's talk about the consumer psychology behind Black Friday. So we understand what they're going through throughout the 5-day weekend, starting with, let's say, Black Friday, right? So number one, customers are curious, right? You have the first email going out. They're driven by curiosity. They have a list. They have an idea of what they want to get. And some don't at all, right? They're like, let's just see. It's my favorite brand. Let's see what they got. They're curious. They're exploring. They're looking around first, right? You come to a store. You go to the mall. You're looking around. What's going on? What's available? What's here, right? And then eventually they start zeroing in on what they want, right? And they're saying, I kind of need shirts. Do need shirts. And then I'm, finding the right shirt, right size, right color. I've zeroed in on what I want to get during my Black Friday sale. And finally, you want to show them. Now they're zeroing in on, okay, now I got to get it. The day's over. I've been in this store for the past 3 hours. Need to get out. I want to buy something. Want to feel like I achieved something in this today. Took advantage of it. And that's it. They just want to get out. Right? So you need to design the emails in the same way, right? Curiosity. Are your emails designed to get exploration? Are they curated? Are you showing people the items that they want to see more of and less of what you want to sell, right? More direct. We zeroed in on what they want to get. And finally, clicks, right? Now, as the day's getting over, right? Want to get them to just buy. Just get it in. Just get it done. Let's go, guys. Come on. Day's over. That's the Black Friday consumer psychology. And problem is, most emails are designed for you, the brand owner, but the best emails are designed for them. Best emails are designed for the customers on your list. So understanding that will allow you to craft a better template. Less about you, right? Like these emails are all talking about them, you as the brand, more about them, right? You want to have more emails that are designed around the customer, less about what you like, right? You don't want to hang it up in the Louvre and get it robbed or God forbid, whatever, right? You want to talk to the customer you have, the 100,000 million member list you have, and you have the potential to do that. If I can do that in MailChimp, you can do it in Klaviyo, you can do it in ListTrack, you can do it in all the top ESPs. So here's the template structure to be aware of. So number one, on the left, we have the hero image, right? This is like, it's meant to max out the clicks. Tell the main message, max out the clicks. Most of your clicks will come from the hero image. Underneath it, you have the navigation, where the navigation drives exploration. I want to explore. And again, you go to the mall. You don't know where to go. Where am I going? Where should I go? I go left, go right, go dresses, shirts, shoes. Where am I going? That helps drive exploration. You got products in there. The products yield higher conversion. The items are relatively curated for them, right? We know what you want to get. We know kind of what we want to show you because you've told us back in October and November, remember reactivate stage. And then lastly, you follow up with banners, right? other offers, other value. You have extended shipping, you have extended returns, you have gift cards going on now, right? All these are showing added value beyond your template, right? Beyond what you want to show at the very beginning. Let's look at it based on the Black Friday template you see from Macy's right there, right? Black Friday hero image right there, maxes out their clicks. They get a majority of clicks to that from that main image. They have navigation right under it. They have deals we think you love right there, right? Very simple. They have boots we think you'll love. I think I was looking at boots at that time when we screenshot this, but boots we think you'll love. You have items that you think we'll love, all curated for you, all picked for you because it'll convert better, right? The click to convert rate is super high. And then at the very bottom, we show added value. Don't know what to get? Check out our gift guide. Get our Macy's credit card, earn 20% off, right? Extra 20% off. You get asked that all the time at checkout, right? That's the analysis. That's a holiday template structure that works, right? This is, again, thinking at the 9 and 10 figure level. This is the strategy that works, and it works every time. So if you look at it, here's the template you got to have, right? Curiosity, the very beginning, hero image, navigation, products, banners, right? Header to footer. Curated is reversing it slightly, right? Hero image, different colors, different themes, different styles, products towards the top because you know what they want to get from the curiosity email, right? Using data, listening more, less sending, more listening. And then finally clicks, right? What can we do to max out the clicks from our email to get them to finish up, get them over the finish line, just buy the damn thing, That's kind of what the goal is from that. So curiosity, curated, clicks. And if I was to roll this out on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it would be AM send would be a curiosity one. We just started a sale. Go explore. Go see what we got. The PM send, afternoon send, the resend of this would be, here's what we think you'll love. There's a sale going on now. We picked more of the shirts you were looking at. And the 8 p.m. send, the last chance send would just be, we showed you it. You found what you're looking for. We found things that we think you'll like even more. Just go buy. That's the last chance one, right? So you see how this kind of acts in a good, kind of pushes them towards the finish line, right? Curiosity, curated, clicks. That's it, okay? That's the analysis of a holiday template that works with the 9, 10-figure brands. Great for retailers and resellers and house of brand retailers who have, or any brand who has 100 SKUs or more. I work with brands that have 100 SKUs to 1 million SKUs currently. And they are killing it with this template because it allows you to drive this consumer psychology is a pure play right here, right? Curiosity going all the way to click, get it done. Now you know a holiday template. Let's roll it out. What's our 5-day game plan, right? This is actually going to be one of the quicker parts, right? Because the template is key and the hacks were key, right? To help you win the 5-day weekend. Now we just got to execute, just got to get out the door, right? So let's talk about our 5-day game plan. What does a Black Friday email SMS 5-day campaign rollout look like? So number one, let's start with Thanksgiving Day. Okay, Thanksgiving Day is a great time for a text-based email, a letter of gratitude. Look at how basic these emails are, right? A text-based email, just pure text. Have some design if you want. We're actually testing now in our agency plain text emails versus more of a HTML-based design, and more of a design blended HTML blend. And that's the beauty of it. We're testing in October, so we know what wins in Thanksgiving Day, right? They drive 30% higher click-through rate. We're thankful. You're gracious. And you can even leak the deals early. Check it out, right? Happy Thanksgiving. P.S. At the very bottom of this letter, P.S. You're invited to join us if you need some post-NAP plans. They're inviting you to join them for their early Black Friday deals. Beautiful, right? Treat your VIPs to early access. Send early in the morning. Get it out 8 a.m. in the morning. First thing, letter of gratitude. You can even do a PM resend if you really want. I'll talk about that in a second. And then finally, SMS runs around 3 p.m. or so with the early Black Friday deals. People are shopping right then. It's not necessarily a letter of an SMS of gratitude. It's more like get our deals early. And then again, add Thanksgiving or Happy Thanksgiving or thank you in the subject line. Don't have to wing it and start thinking about weird, cheeky little subject lines. Stats are showing Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday in the subject line, 20% higher open rates. Simple, right? No need to reinvent the wheel or wing it. Wing it in July, wing it in August. We're not here to wing it anymore, right? Here's some examples of some templates you'll see in your inbox. Home Depot, Home Goods, Pier 1, Brooklinen right here. Brooklinen, pretty much almost a plain text email. Others like to design it, make it nice. Sure, whatever you want to do, right? As long as you've tested it. You're not winging it anymore. You're testing it, find out what works, right? So some great templates right here. And you're going to see this in your inbox, right? I'm not telling you something that I'm my opinion, right? I've done this before. That's the type of ones I've built out and it works really well. For a Thanksgiving launch plan, right? Thank you letter, early AM, right? One click HTML, right? Remember what we said, clicks, just get clicks, right? Appreciative, give your deals early access. Follow up with an SMS around 3 p.m. People are sitting down for dinner right there, right? That's a whole separate strategy about my SMS, but that comes into the reward phase, right? You want to reward your VIPs, your SMS list early and give them the Black Friday deals in advance, right? So SMS, no MMS, kind of waste of money. No need to waste your money on that. Maybe for flows, again, hopefully you're testing it out, right? MMS versus SMS. And then send time optimized, right? 3 p.m. here is very different than 12 p.m. In California. So make sure it's send time optimized for around that 3 p.m. time, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., whenever you feel most comfortable. And then you have an option for email touch 3, right? Maybe send a second email, right, in the day after your happy Thanksgiving letter. I've done that many times, where our Black Friday early access, right? Leak the Black Friday deals early, 8 p.m. send time. And that's, again, part of that reward mindset, right? How do we reward our best customers early? Click focused, just get the clicks in the door and send to your best list, right? VIP customers. Let's go now to Black Friday. What does a Black Friday campaign rollout look like, right? It's a full sales day, right? Total goal of revenue, right? We're in the revenue phase, revenue pillar of Q4 right now. It's the moment you've been waiting for, full sale oriented. Don't get, again, you don't need to get too fancy, right? If it works, it works. I love this one from Fossil, Black Friday mystery deal. That is something I would send on Thanksgiving Day, not on Black Friday, right? I would reveal the deal at that point. Urgency and scarcity is critical here, right? Different send. If there's multiple sends in the day, differentiate it slightly, right? Differentiate in strategy, differentiate in look and feel, right? Invert the colors and make it a little bit different, right? New deals added is a great one to do in the middle of the day. You added new deals. Come take another look. We just dropped this new offer. The offer just dropped or increased. Last chance, hours left. Something to differentiate it, new templates, colors, and layouts, and send multiple times, right? I'm not always a big fan of sending to non-openers because it just makes Klaviyo and OmniSend rich. You're sending to non-openers that they didn't open in the first place. Maybe they'll open the second time. I don't need to worry about that though, right? Because the flows did the resend for me, 80-20. I don't need to resend to kind of people that aren't opening right now. A better strategy for that, right? So send multiple times, use SMS to reinforce morning and evening, use Black Friday in the subject line. Very simple, right? So some templates you can see right here, right? Black and Friday steals and deals. Look at the layout, right? Again, same layout as I showed you before. Hero image, navigation, right? Curated items. Template works, just works, right? And I love how Wayfair does it. It actually shows the discount they can find each category, right? Which works really well. They have a ton of products, ton of SKUs. So it works for them. And I think it'll work for you. Even if you have 100 plus SKUs, it'll work for you, guaranteed. The Black Friday launch plan, I like to send, in some cases, I like to send at 12 a.m. and for some brands, right? Really early in the morning. But 6 a.m. is totally fine, right? 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. send time, knowing that you may be drowned out of the inbox, so you want to get there maybe early or later, depending on your type of brand, depending on when you send out on Thanksgiving Day. 6 a.m. send time, max volume, max your volume, right? And curiosity focused, right? The more people you get to your store who are curious, the more data you have for your PM send, right? Curiosity first, curated and click focused templates later in the day. You get the data from your 80-20 segments. SMS touch 2, Black Friday new deals added, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. send time usually works. Reinforce phase, right? Reinforce what you said in the first email and reinforce it. New deals added. Take another look. Come back and see what we just dropped, right? And max out your volume on that. And then email touch 3, Black Friday last chance, 6 to 8 p.m. send time usually tends to work. All depending on your brand, right? Curated and click focused. And since you're engaged population, right? We have a much better segmentation than just saying engaged. But if you need help, we're happy to do it for you. But engaged is a little bit like broader for you that you may already know. Next, best of Black Friday. Now we're talking Saturday, right? And Saturday is usually small business Saturday, and it's good to have personality and caring and holiday love. But the bigger brands tend to go with one last go at the best deals of the year, right? Kind of like a Black Friday extended. And you want to focus on the best of Black Friday. Remember I talked about curated, right? We know what people were browsing on Friday. We know what people were shopping on Friday, what they're searching for, what's in their cart. And those that didn't buy, well, let's just show them the items they have and related items that they think they'll buy. It's the best time, right? Think of it like when you go to a store and you went to the store and it was totally overwhelming. And you're like, whoa. And everyone is bouncing, knocking down your inbox and you don't even know where to start. The best of Black Friday allows you to position yourself as someone who cares and a brand that cares and says, you know what? We know it's overwhelming. We know there's a lot to absorb. Here's the best of the best we picked for you, right? That's what you want to get. And give them FOMO on the best items because literally Black Friday is going to end today. In my book, Black Friday will end. Differentiate the design, links, and layout. Different linking strategy than you had on Friday, different than when you had on Thanksgiving Day. Personalize the email with algorithms that are showing more items that they would have a propensity to buy. And you need to send this just on your main engaged list and your VIPs. You can also use SMS to reinforce it in the morning or the evening. Once again, use Black Friday in the subject line. Some examples right here, right? Some of them have a lot more of just the click-based ones, right? Which is best Black Friday ever, shop the sale. One more day just for you. Very clear, right? Click focused. Get them back in. Black Friday extended. And then, ends midnight right here, Black Friday sale. Very simple, right? If I was running this Black Friday launch plan, and we're doing it for our clients right here, best of Black Friday would go around 8 a.m., right? Early in the day, right? Recap. Whoa, what a day that was, right? Here's the best just for you, but it's only good for one more day. Right? You got to grab it now or lights out, right? 8 a.m. send time, curated focus does better. I've tested it, right? I've tested hero image, the click-based graphics versus the curated ones. Curated converts better. The click one gets more clicks, right? I want to get conversion up. Engaged VIP list is great. SMS touch 2, right? Reinforce it. Reinforce your first email to your SMS list. Again, send to your engaged population, midday or so, right? Don't let the day get away from you. And then best of Black Friday last chance, optional, right? Depending on your appetite to send, right? 6 to 8 p.m. send time usually does well. Click focus, just like you saw from the past ones. Just get in, come on, last chance. That's it. Black Friday's ending. That's it. It's over. We extended it one more day. Now it's lights out. Why is it lights out? Because we're going to Cyber Monday right away. Sunday should not be a Black Friday last chance. I've, again, tested this at the top brands, the 10-figure brands for you, so you don't have to. Adding another day for Black Friday performs about 50% worse than doing a Cyber Monday early access, right? So pivot and double your sales by pivoting to Cyber Monday. Black Friday's over, start Cyber Monday ASAP, right? Reward your SMS list first. Again, part of that SMS strategy, reward, right? Give them first pass. Focus on one-click designs, right? That's where the click focus comes in. Invite exploration, early access, VIP sneak peek language, new everything, new design, new look, new feel, everything different than Black Friday, right? You have a whole new feel, new offers, everything. Send to the VIP list. Again, use Cyber Monday and also consider removing your sending suppressions. Sometimes, that's really good for every campaign in general. Remove the sending suppressions. So you make sure you max out the list for this one. This is a really important one. Some examples right here, same style, click focused emails, right? One click, in, out, right? No reviews, no dancing around it, no blog posts, right? In, out, done, right? That's kind of what you want. A launch plan right here, right? Again, I like to send around 12 p.m., around noon, let people go to start their day, go to their carpool, maybe they're traveling back from Thanksgiving, start their day, midday is usually a great time. And I start with SMS, right? SMS is a great time to capture them. Rewarding people first, the VIP list first. Email touch 2 could be around 3 p.m., right? When they're starting to say, okay, selling in, getting ready for Monday, getting back to work. Click focused, engaged list. And then you have an option, email touch 3, which is really, really aggressive to some. I happen to like it because you start Cyber Monday at 12 a.m., right? 12 a.m. send time, curiosity focused, and max out your list. And it helps you win the inbox early, right? People are waking up for work 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and they're seeing this email in their inbox already. It could be good, right? It's subjective. It really depends on the appetite for your brand. And that is a great time. But let's talk about Cyber Monday. And in order to do this, you got to win the workday by sending early and late. So revolve around the workday and commute. Usually I found 9 a.m. is a great time for a send. Again, I did 12 a.m. a lot of times, and it did really well, right? It sits in the inbox. Nowadays, Gmail pushes up emails to the top of your inbox if you're familiar with it. So 9 a.m. is great, and 8 p.m., right? Right around 6 to 8 p.m. on the commute home, or when they're back to their desktop, right, at home on the computer, like, oh yeah, I remember that deal. There was a deal there. I got to, buy it quick. I only got 4 hours left, right? Use SMS to reinforce. Full sale oriented, right? No more non-sale emails. Urgency, scarcity, send multiple times. Order, curiosity, curated clicks. Curiosity, curated clicks. That should be your order. You can skip out the curated if you really don't feel like you have the bandwidth for it. But curiosity and clicks is usually the best. And change the offers as well, as we said before, and use Cyber Monday in the subject line. Some great examples right here, right? Cyber Weekend, Cyber Flash Sale, right? Cyber Monday deals, one day only, right? Great click-based emails to get the traffic up. You want to get that traffic in, just like you're going to a store. Attract people to the store and you're good. Cyber Monday launch plan, pretty much the same as Black Friday, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. Send early, curiosity focus, the first touch. SMS follows up to reinforce your emails, right? And another channel to reinforce it. And then last chance, 8 p.m. send time, click focused to your engaged population. That will help you win the holiday season. I used to add in 1 or 2 more touches for some of these as well. So I got very aggressive because why not? You're saving your list for this exact 5-day weekend. You've been saving it all year long. You're like, oh, is my list good? Am I not saying too much? Am I doing this? You're saving it for this weekend. So why not use it? That covers the 5-day weekend. I just want to quickly recap the rest of Q4. It should be Q4 in there, I should say. Just to kind of surround the Black Friday 5-day weekend, just really briefly, just to know exactly what happens before and after the Black Friday weekend, so you're totally clear. We talked about October, right? You want to activate your list, gift guides, Prime Day, that's in the books already, that's in the past. Full clearance, right? Get more data on your customers, get them to activate, self-select. I want to be the first to know about these deals. I want to know what you're gifting, right? We want to know what customers are gifting. We want to know their appetite for budget. We want to know what you're trying to get. Re-engage your list. And a lot of the campaign calendar is based all around that. Watch my Q4 webinar for more details about that. I'm not going to go too deep into this. November plan, revenue. Win holiday sales before Black Friday, right? I know we talked about the 5-day weekend, but pull in your 5-day weekend, your Black Friday deals early. Reveal it the Friday before. Reveal it the Monday before. Get sales early with early Black Friday and Singles Day and Veterans Day, and so many ways to pull that in and get more sales from the entire quarter. Again, I have a whole calendar based around this, right? It's all in the Q4 War Room webinar, and it's in our Facebook group, Retention Nation Facebook group. Definitely check that out. Join that. And then finally, December is really pivotal, right? This year, I think December 1st is Cyber Monday. So December plan has to focus on get 2 holiday sales from every customer, right? You're going to get that big purchase during Black Friday, right? But now's a chance to upsell, cross-sell them, right? Hey, you bought that big MacBook. You're going to need to have speakers. You're going to need to have a better mouse pad. You're going to need to have a better, webcam, right? Upsell them with a small minor item. That's going to be great because people gift themselves and others. So you can accessorize their primary purchase or get them to buy someone else. And gift cards. Get gift cards on everything. I'll talk about that in a second. Hope we're not going too far over time. I think we still have we're almost at time, but I think we got 10 minutes of value worth to give. Hopefully you'll stick with me. Extend Black Friday a couple more days and then work backwards from fulfillment, right? You get last chance for free shipping, last chance for 2-day shipping, last chance for expedited shipping, and kind of work backwards from that. That's going to be very helpful for you. Check out that War Room webinar for the full calendar. Last call for hacks. I'll give you the final billion-dollar email SMS holiday profit hack so you can roll out for your brand to add in that's relevant for Black Friday. I trimmed it down to focus on what's relevant just for the 5-day weekend, because that's the 5-day, that's what we're talking about today, right? So holiday hacks for that 5-day weekend. Put gift cards on everything. Every email you have should include a gift card. Do it now. Do it today. The very bottom of every single template you have, gift card should be at the very bottom of it. It's cash in the bank. They can only use it at you. A lot of them will never get redeemed, right? Pure cash. Add it to every template. Remind them to redeem later on. It's extra holiday profit to fuel your 2026, and they can only use it at you, right? That's a second purchase right there, right? They buy an item, they buy a gift card. That's 2 purchases. What's not to love? It's technically 3 because they got to use the gift card later, right? Lifetime value increase. Use dynamic gifts instead of static ones, right? Customers don't want to buy what you want to sell. They want to buy what they want to buy, right? Listen more, talk less, right? So using dynamic recommendations, you can actually show them more of what they want to get, right? If you know they're browsing for the new AirPods, right? Show them more AirPods, right? Show them more sizes and price points, wherever it may be. Show them more headphones. You don't have to show them everything, right? So use the wisdom of the crowd and what they're telling you to present more items in front of them. That leads to higher clicks, higher conversions, and you saw that in my template overall, right? That's in the Black Friday template. My voice is going there. Next, close every single abandoned gap, right? Your site has a whole bunch of leaks you probably don't even know about. We talked about this earlier. The money's in the follow-up. Audit your flows, perfect them for the holidays, but focus on the 80-20 of your flows, which are your abandoned flows, right? I have a $1 billion abandoned funnel. I call things $1 billion because I was a VP of retention of the $1 billion brands. You can take my $1 billion abandoned funnel. It'll help you capture twice the abandoners, recover 3 times the sales, improve your return on ad spend. It's a more omni-channel approach, right? Better follow-up equals higher conversions because the money is in the follow-up, right? Right? You have your basic Klaviyo abandoned funnel or browse abandoned, cart abandoned, maybe your site abandoned. We have a $1 billion abandoned funnel where we roll it out, and this is just the tip of it. There's more to add to this, right? We have a whole bunch of new stages that are part of our funnel, and we have perfected them. It's been great. It's been really a good revenue driver for a lot of brands. Those are the hacks you can roll out. I trimmed it down from like 10 of them that were good for Q4 down to like 3 or 4 that were good for Black Friday weekend. So let's recap just really quickly a couple of the results you can expect right here. And here's what happened with a client we saw this webinar and our Q4 webinar last year. To give you an example of the results you can see, this client gained another $50,000 in October by pulling their holiday sales in earlier, just like we talked about. 198% revenue growth. They then gained an extra $195,000 in November, which nearly 3x their growth because they activated their list in October. 260% revenue growth. And they still grew even more in December, where we doubled their holiday sales and got customers to buy twice. And that positioned them for, by the way, in 2025, they're up by 80% year over year because of lifetime value, right? 90% growth in revenue right there in December as well, right? They netted out. Overall Shopify growth, it compares the same, right? $163,000 in October, $180,000 growth in November, which reduced the reliance on ad spend, right? They don't need to spend much on ads as much because email and SMS are literally killing it. Look at that big jump right there, right? Huge jump right there. And then $186,000 growth in December because they got repeat buyers and increased their LTV. Their lifetime value increased, which fueled their entire year. And that was a monumental win for this brand, right? They really catapulted. They're going to do even better this year. Surprisingly, they're going to do even better. Why? Because we had a whole year of foundation building. We filled in even more gaps. We built a whole new roadmap for them, and they're going to really excel. This 8-figure brand, right? Just some examples. Went from 35K to 200K a month in Q2 2023. A little bit later, right? A little bit earlier in the year, but you see the strategy works overall. And this 8-figure retailer went from 112,000 to 354,000 in 90 days with the same strategy I shared with you. And again, Black Friday, they crushed it even more because the foundation was built. That's what we're trusted by over 110 plus retailers and brands we've worked with, that we work with, that we will work with, and it's just been great for them. They have exploded in their growth and revenue, and it's been a really good cap on a challenging year, right? The year's been a little bit challenging for some retailers and some brands. Now that you know the strategy, let's talk about why you are going to fail to get this going. You're going to end this webinar and you're going to be like, oh, that was great. Awesome. Love the video. Now what do I do? Right? Here's why, right? You've really been listening to the wrong people in general, right? Really the Joe email freelancer, right? The guy who just knows how to design stuff and code and write stuff. They just know one silo in email. And that's not enough. You need the strategy. You don't need the tactic. You need the strategy. The tactic is easy once you have the strategy, right? You need someone who knows your tech, who knows how to implement the strategy with the right tech, with the right tools, with the right design, with the right copy, with the right sending, with the right segmentation, personalization, automation flow. I can go on and on, right? You don't need someone who just excels in one tactic. That's not worth it, right? And worse, you also don't need to focus just on blasting your list, right? Blasting out emails like Susie email marketer, right? Like the email marketer who tells you to send more, right? Send more campaigns and send an email at 9 a.m. and then a follow-up at 3 p.m. I need to do that. We're talking about strategy, right? The flows do that for me. I don't need to do that, right? And that's kind of where you want to get to. You've been listening to the wrong people and it hasn't helped you pan out. And here's the exact moment you went wrong, right? You hired tactics, but not strategy. You talk at your customers, but you don't listen instead. Be surprised how many people talk about their products all the time. Talk about your amazing products. Talk about what you are. Why don't we start listening more, right? And your manual, when you should be automated, you're obsessing over manual stuff, campaigns that last for 8 seconds in the inbox instead of automating things to follow up for you, right? You're focused on acquisition more than retention. So you overspend, you oversend, and you overwork and get very little in return. That's what happens when you listen to the wrong people. And they're thinking at a 6-figure level when you need a 10-figure level, right? Their advice is send more emails, which means your unsubscribes increase, right? Spam complaints increase. Your designs are boring, which is subjective, but when they do it, they get no clicks, right? What's the point? Maybe you say only do flows and you have some gorgeous flows sitting there with no gas in it, right? They're known being gassed up because you totally forgot about campaigns, right? And then they say write better copy, but the site doesn't convert because your copy doesn't match the site. What's the point? Doesn't make sense. Tactics, right? What you need is a real 10-figure expert. Thinking at a 10-figure level, knowing what the possible potential of your brand could be, focus on strategy first, tactics second, focusing on people, not just emails. And that leads to profitable, predictable, sustainable revenue, just like those case studies I just shared with you. That's why some of our clients say email marketers I hired never got the foundation down until you came along. Or I found a freelancer on Upwork and quickly realized she was wasting her time, right? And she hired us in October because she was wasting her time in August and September. And so like, I'm done. Quickly ran to us. And then agencies, well, I hired would experiment on my list and on my money, and I can't afford that. You don't need experimentation. You need guaranteed strategy and guaranteed results. That's what's holding you back. So let's recap our quick game plan, right? I've shared why brands fail to beat their competitors on Black Friday. I revealed how to use psychology to craft a really high-performing template that gets clicks and conversions. I've shown my $100 million Black Friday game plan that will capture every possible sale, right? The hacks roll out and the extra little tips I have with gift cards and things like that will reinforce your 5-day game plan, highlight numerous success stories and results when you roll this out. And now, for the first time ever, I'm going to share 2 one-time only offers to help you get this done fast, right? One you may know, one is totally new that we've seen some brands start being attracted to. We have some clients on that already. So I'm super excited to get that for you. Excuse me, don't wing your Black Friday anymore, right? I'm going to share with you 2 ways to earn an extra, even 100,000 would put you over the top, right? But to earn an extra 1 million this Black Friday with our help. Number 1, get our done for you plans, right? We have 2 offers. There's one done for you. We'll do it all for you. This entire 5-day plan, their entire Q4 strategy. We do it for you. Our team is ready for you. You can scan the QR code on the left to get that free audit. We'll dive into it. And we also have a done with you plan, which is I'm calling my wingman plan, right? HiFlyer Digital, all about flying and wings and things like that. Our done for you wingman plan is also a great option for you. I'll talk about that in a second. Scan the QR code if you want to learn more. Number 1, our audit, book a free Black Friday audit. I'll custom make this plan for you, right? My entire strategy will custom make it. I'll personally walk you through how to segment stronger, personalize better, automate faster, and actually revive the customer relationships you need before Black Friday hits and then win Black Friday. That's the key, right? We do everything you see here. I'm not going to go through every single checkbox, but full audit, 200-point audit, audit your list growth, hygiene, deliverability, review order apps, metrics, opportunities, complete campaign teardown, right? Flow analysis, optimizations, and a clear projection for your brand about what the revenue impact looks like. Okay. My email ROI calculator will actually reveal the real revenue gap, right? Putting some real dollars onto it. And this is an example of that brand, that case study I showed you. This was the gap we had projected for them, $125,000 revenue gap. And guess what? They nearly recovered all of it, right? It was like 115 they recovered. So we were pretty much right on track with the gap. And it works. It's really down to that's what I used to do for the top brands. We had to have some sort of projection, what I think they can make, what I think there is what potential exists on the list. And we pretty much recovered nearly all of it. So that's the power of our audit. Hands down, the best email and SMS retention audit they've ever had. We beat out some of the top agencies of the world with this audit. It's going to really blow your mind, right? We've perfected it over time, and it's been a really fantastic way to have confidence in your program. And that's why brands are saying we had a level of expertise that we simply lacked, right? Email is our fastest growing revenue stream to our store now, right? Before he said email was dead. And you took our email program to a level I never knew about. And you can find us all at HiFlyerDigital.com/Black Friday audit. Very simple. You can even watch me unlock $350,000 in revenue for Q4 and Black Friday in just 15 minutes. Watch me do it, right? Watch my process. Get confidence in it. It's a free audit. You don't know what you don't know. And I'll tell you what you don't know. And we'll uncover it together. And if you like what you see, we implemented 100% done for you. Everything start to finish: copy, creative, campaign strategy, scoping, custom built automations, A/B testing, roadmap, personalization, segmentation, monthly reporting, weekly strategy calls. We got it all covered for you, implemented, all done for you. But for those brands that maybe are not at the level of like, you know what, I'm not ready to do it, have you do it all for me, right? I want to have a team, in play. I have a team in place. I need to train them. I need to level up my agency, or I need to teach my marketing coordinator who's filling in for my emails. I need to teach them what to do. We have our done with you plan, right? And I'm only offering this to about 5 to 8 brands right now, right? We already have a couple brands on board, and we have a spot in November for a couple more, right? So our Black Friday Wingman plan allows you to add myself and my team, a $400 million VP of retention and strategist to your team for a third of the price of your current agency. That's my Black Friday Wingman plan. On our Black Friday Wingman plan, we'll do that audit again, right? We'll give you Klaviyo cost crusher guidance, how to crush your costs on Klaviyo, bring that way down, use Klaviyo smarter. I will give you direct one-to-one Q4 and Black Friday strategy and coaching for your team. I'll show you how to optimize your flows, and even kind of happy to roll up my sleeves and do it with you. And give you copy and creative click enhancement plan that allow you to take your templates and say, here's where you're getting the most clicks. Here's where you need to double down on. How to craft the right templates that convert, like the ones I showed you. And you'll be able to have my $100 million full Q4 campaign calendar, right? That's the key part. You have the full campaign calendar to know what to send, when to send it, how to send it, and what that revenue potential looks like. Even better, I stack in all this content to go with it, so your team is prepared and ready to rock. 40+ video mock 10 email masterclass, my 330-page email SMS playbook, 3 additional $100 million playbooks for Black Friday, SMS, and retention. I have custom roadmaps for email, SMS, and flows, AI for email cheat sheets, 200+ email templates that are from Figma and Canva you can use instantly. I'm paraphrasing, again, you'll scan the QR code, you can watch the whole video explainer, and you have access to me, right? I'm able to be there. We have 24/7 Slack access to me and my team. I'm a Loom master. I drop Loom videos where I think there's save time on a meeting or a quick call. I do a quick 5-minute Loom. We got everything you need. One-to-one calls when needed to get you over, to help you win the holidays. And bi-weekly group calls, right? With some of the brands we may have start launching some group calls in general. A lot of brands want to have that more one-on-one access, quick calls, which is fine. And we can host a roll up your sleeves call where we jump on it and say, let's roll up our sleeves, open your screen, let's do it. Because I want to show you that no one cares how much I know until you know how much I care, right? That's the whole point of it. So I give you direct access in general. The total value of that is about $15,000. That's what we charge clients in general. I give it for $3,600, one-time fee only, just for a few select brands. $3,600, one-time fee to be the wingman for your team that you badly need, right? It'll help 9-figure brands, 10-figure, it doesn't matter your size. You can be a 6-figure brand, a 10-figure brand. This wingman plan will help you succeed, and it's a one-time fee only. We're just giving away for a few select brands. We don't want to get overwhelmed and break everything, right? I just want to dedicate time and energy to making your brand excel. So that's it. 2 Black Friday Cyber Monday offers at the end of this webinar. One, a done-for-you Accelerate plan, which will audit it and share exactly where the gap is, what you're doing well, where there's room for improvement, and how we will do this for you. And for those that are not quite ready to do it, have us do it for you, we will do it with you for a one-time Q4 holiday fee, right? You pay now, it lasts through December 31st, 2025, and then we could talk next steps after that, but this will help you last the holiday season done with you. That's our wingman plan right there. And again, that's why we're trusted by over 100 plus retailers and brands. Stop winging Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Start winning it. Black Friday doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards execution. So you want to start moving, less learning, more acting, more action taking, right? Like I told you, just like your Q4, you have a lot of, reactivate in October. Now is let's make some money, right? So this is the time to stop hesitating, start taking action. And that's why clients are saying you've doubled our holiday sales every single year, and that's been really amazing. So 2 offers on the table for you. Our done-for-you Accelerate plan, scan the QR code if that's a fit for your brand right now. Our wingman plan done with you and with your team. I'll train your team. Our team will train your team. One-time fee, $3,600 only. Scan the QR code to get that moving. Thank you for joining me on my Black Friday webinar. Thank you for staying with me for another 15 minutes. I think there's a lot to unpack. That's why it's one of our best webinars of the year. And I really wish you much success during Black Friday season. And now is the time when you can capitalize and put the cherry on top of a great Q4, not the other way around. Don't just wait for a 5-day weekend. Make sure that's positioned as the cherry on top of a great quarter already. And hopefully you'll end the year in a much better place. And even better with this plan, you'll start 2026 much more profitable, more cash in the bank, more reserves, more things to fund your future and scale into the next year. So thank you for watching. Hope this was great. I will see you on the next webinar. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the day.